Which side of my face is the black face paint or the Youthforia foundation? T, you can't tell. You know why? Tar in a bottle. This is black face paint. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. A few months ago, I tried the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. Let's just go ahead and try to blend this out, you guys. Enough. Who is that color?
We're introducing shade -600. We have no idea what an actual human person looks like, so we're just giving it our best shot. Just like shade 600, shade -600 has no undertones at all, or tones. It's just pure white. What, you want us to make actual shades for human skin? Ugh, sorry, can't do it. Just take this pH blush gimmick and move on.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Jasmine. I do TV reviews, movie commentary, and I tell the occasional story time. So today I thought I would talk about some drama that I saw on a YouTube video, but it's more of like a TikTok thing, and I don't really go on TikTok, but I decided to look further into this matter. If you hear a noise in the background, my cat is using the scratch post. I thought that I would talk about this brand called Youthforia. Apparently it is a TikTok makeup brand, and we're gonna be just getting into a little bit of some hot water that they've been in recently because of a product that they released. So it's making a lot of people mad and confused and enraged and angry. Like a lot of you guys, I am aging, and I'm also a makeup lover, so naturally I was curious. I went through a phase of learning how to do my makeup in my 20s because nobody taught me how to do it, so I decided to learn all of that through YouTube. That's pretty much how I learned how to do everything regarding my makeup. I was trying to manage my acne and my now acne scars. A lot of money went into this face and it's still not where I want it to be. I don't want to call it a trend, but it started this thing. Apparently this brand got backing on the show Shark Tank. It's a TikTok makeup brand that focuses on skincare. Makeup's so good for your skin that you can sleep in it. Before I started doing all of this YouTube stuff with this second channel, I am an artist. Let's just go over a little bit of my work, shall we? As you can see, I am quite experienced in drawing people realistically. Not just that, I can achieve any skin tone with colored pencils, even with a limited range of colors, because as you guessed it, I know what I'm doing, sort of. And in none of those portraits did I use a black pencil to color somebody's entire face. I only incorporated it in the shadows and the hair.
This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is black face paint. Sometimes it's okay to say, hey, maybe my brand is not made for complexion. I'm gonna squeeze a pump of this on my forehead just right out the bottle so you guys can see that I'm literally not joking. We're gonna do a big blend of this, you guys. When we say that we want you guys to make shades for us, we don't mean to go to the lab and ask for minstrel show black. What we mean is to take the browns that you have made, create undertones, and do what you need to do in the lab so it's a darker shade of brown. This is the darkest shade, shade 600, and as you guys can see in the bottle, literally jet black. The shade right next to it is shade 590. This is what it looks like in the bottle. Here is shade 600. You guys, there could be like 10 more shades in between these two shades. There's literally only 4 or 5 shades for people that actually have dark complexion. Not really for black people, for being honest. Not only in 2024 is this so disgusting and disrespectful, but this needs to be pulled off the shelves.
Anyone who has taken a basic art class would know this information. Anyone who showed up to class and paid attention for about 20 minutes, because if they did, they wouldn't be saying stuff like this.
This is the second darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation, shade 590. Let's try it. We're gonna go in with a pretty good pump. Clean brush, let's go blend this out. Coming in close so you guys can virtually see. As you guys can see, this foundation leans very red on me.
People are really arguing that it's a mixer shade when that's not what it is. Color theory isn't a thing anymore.
I'm a little bit cooler than 590, guys, which means Youthforia does not even make my shade. This is about face. That's how a shade match should be. But this leans a bit red on me. This is shade 590. This is shade 600. How on earth did we go from this shade to this shade? There's no undertone, no depth, no dimension, and that's a problem. It goes far beyond it just being damn near black. I feel like we could have sat down with 590 a little bit longer, tweaked some undertones, added some more depth, added some more rain, added a few more shades, and it would have ate. All that being said, obviously there are darker people than me. That was never something that I argued. However, I know that when it comes to the end of the spectrum of tone and color and complexion, I am of one of the darkest. It would not complement any skin tone, let alone the one that they're marketing it for.
This should be a crime. This is what we get when we ask to be included in the beauty industry, because there's no way in 2024 we are getting this. They just slap it in our face saying, if you want a darker shade, there you go, here's the black paint for your face. We as South Sudanese, we are one of the darkest people on this planet, and if you cannot find anyone among us to match this shade, just know this is not a foundation, neither a skin tint, and this is just a big shame. I am so glad that I declined 4 months ago when they reached out to me if I can collaborate with them. It's one thing to make a mistake once, but once you make it twice, it's just a slap in the face. Have we not learned anything?
Let's talk about the pigments in this foundation. Iron oxide, that is black, and that's one of the 2 pigments in this makeup. You want to know what the other pigment is? It's white, because all black people are black. It doesn't even contain all of the pigments for what a mixer would require. Do I need to come over there and teach you how to mix pigments for darker skin tones? So I looked at their website, and it's kind of like the whole Tarte foundation fiasco from a couple of years ago. This is like Foundation Gate 2.0. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically back when I started learning how to do makeup, I watched all of these beauty influencers, and this company called Tarte Cosmetics released a line of foundation with some of the most abysmal shades that I've ever seen. If I remember correctly, the Tarte company said that they'd make more shades and that the darker shades were meant for people who are darker during the summer. I'm not making this up, I swear on my life, I saw that. I never realized that we humans just start out at the same color at the beginning of the year and then all change to the same darker color at the end of the year. Make it make sense.
I did not serve my country for this buffoonery. What did I do to deserve this Tarte? Damn!
Do you know why we don't add black to other colors in art? Because black ruins everything. It's a terrible mixing color. It turns everything muddy, either a pukey green color or gray. And that's exactly what happened when this makeup artist on TikTok mixed Youthforia's shade 600 with a lighter foundation.
Imagine saying you'd like to be a forethought in the beauty community because foundations always tend to be too dark or orange on you, and you're handed this. Because that's what happened to black women this week. And so this was supposed to be their relaunch of foundations. There were supposed to be more dark shades, and undertones were supposed to be considered and expanded upon. So for the darkest shade to be a flat black when black women are shades of brown is really just a slap in the face. Just like white women are shades of peach and not shades of stark white, more undertones should have been considered.
Gabrielle Fisher is one of the people who did a really great job explaining how color mixing works. So regardless of how much you try to defend the company, you can understand what she's saying in this video. You cannot dispute what she says. She's super straightforward but respectful when she really breaks down how this pigment performs. It would be the same thing if it were like a stark white foundation with no other pigment. No human is the color of whiteout. People make jokes, oh, I'm so white, I can use whiteout as a foundation. No, you can't. No, you can't. I swear, she is my new favorite common sense person on the internet.
I'm gonna mix these 2 shades to show why this can't be used as a foundation mixer. I have the lighter foundation shade right here, and now I'm mixing in the Youthforia 600 shade. And now we are left with, as expected, an ashy shade. You didn't use a dark enough foundation. Okay, let's try a darker one. Here's the darker shade, and now I'm adding the 600 shade to it. And as expected, we have another shade that is lacking depth and richness that we would see in brown skin. To drive the point home, I'm going to mix this with some white foundation mixer, and if it has any other tone other than black, it should turn some sort of shade of brown. Otherwise, it's going to turn gray. And as expected, we have gray.
It's literally gray. It's so gray.
Now let's just say this was marketed as a mixer. It wasn't.
Name one person that is alive that is that color. If they are that color, they need to see like a doctor or a mortician.
Or that you can use this shade to darken your own. You can't. As an everyday consumer, you should not be burdened with purchasing multiple foundation shades or even mixing shades and playing mixologist all day just to get a shade that works for you, especially by a brand that swears they're inclusive.
Seriously, who wants to pay $100 just to mix a custom color to match their face? That's ridiculous. At $48 a bottle and I have to buy 2 colors because you guys don't understand how color mixing works. Is that not madness?
Even a makeup artist would need more tones in addition to this black pigment to meet the varying tones of brown skin. I've also seen the argument of using other primary color foundation foundation mixers to achieve a foundation color that will work in this instance. With my prior point of not being a mixologist, I'm also no stranger to using white foundation mixer to make shades light enough, and I love having this option, but I miss out on the formulation when I have to do this because I'm not able to mix it with another foundation shade in that same formula, so I have to use this, and it just alters the formula. So a long-wearing foundation may not be as long-wearing anymore. Even though I love having the option, it's just not the same.
The foundation doesn't match the pictures on the website or even the little sticker that's on the outside of the box. The full coverage audacity of this brand to continue selling shade 600 on their website. This is still on their website. Yeah, it's still there. Minstrel shows are a painful mark on human history, and some of it is still embedded into things. Sometimes it's very subtle, like Aunt Jemima. That's based off of minstrel shows, a specific minstrel show character. Minstrel shows were shows that white people would put on way back in the day to entertain their fellow people. Basically, they would dress up as caricatures of black people by painting their skin black and painting their mouths with bright paint, usually some kind of a red, to make their mouths look really big because, you know, black people have huge lips and huge mouths. These shows portrayed people as lazy, low in intelligence, silly. You get the picture. Back to the subject at hand. The Youthforia Date Night Foundation is $48. That's even more than Lady Gaga's foundation. The most I've ever paid for foundation was when I bought Fenty, and that was around $38 back in the day. A lot of times when I put makeup on, it looks kind of weird on camera, so I'm very picky about what I wear. Some of it makes me look really orange, so it's always a struggle to find stuff when you have really warm tones. On the Youthforia website, the shade 600, it looks like a very dark brown when they're swatching it, and in the bottle it actually looks extremely dark brown. In real life, it's just a very gray, black, kind of like a charcoal color. Compare the Youthforia one that doesn't match any human to Fenty's darkest shade, that's number 498, that actually does match a human. I can't believe this company thought that it was a fantastic idea. The marketing room and the meetings, I can just imagine how those went. Life-changing makeup, innovative, inclusive, revolutionary, and it's just black. They make a pink setting spray. Not sure how much green they could really cancel out since there are people with olive undertones. I just want to know how that looks since color theory works on everyone. If you have olive skin tone, which is a teeny tiny slightly green undertone, and you use pink setting spray, is that going to wash you out and make you look gray? And just for context, the creator of the brand, Fiona Chan, she couldn't find anybody in her vicinity to try this new mysterious shade of makeup that she developed in about 4 months. And apparently new shades of this type of makeup, they take about 16 months to develop. Another thing I want to bring up is Youthforia had this problem the first time around. They didn't care enough to notice that there's a lot of colors of people, and most of the foundation budget for development went into the lighter skin colors, and people really got on them about their original shade range that they had launched. And what they have now is actually reflective of their shade extensions, believe it or not. I know that this was rushed, that's very obvious. Apparently nobody matches it. When shade 600 was released, that was part of the 10 shades that they had added. Yes, 10. They only had 15 before this. She just decided to pick a couple of people when she traveled abroad.
A few days ago, I told you guys how stressed I was. I'm looking for a model for the darkest shade of Youthforia foundation days before launch. I don't have enough time to do a full photo shoot. I'm on the other side of the world, street casting and getting ghosted. Alvin and Jack graciously agreed to be our models. We don't have a ton of time. I went to the mall and decided to do a photo shoot at the mall. I found a camera store that agreed to email us a photo. It's just gonna have to. Here's the 2 darkest shade of Youthforia foundation. 100 is a cool neutral, and Alvin has great skin. I am applying it while holding the camera. It actually blends so easily into his skin. And in all of our website photos, we always just do half a face of no makeup, half a face of Youthforia foundation. You can see the before and after, but he has great skin. His undertone was actually perfect. And then Jackson actually was so sweet. The entire time we were just talking about the journey trying to grow Youthforia. He was like, I hope your dreams come true. Same thing here, left side no makeup and right side with foundation. Then we were ready to pop into this passport photo booth and get some photos taken. I was a little bit skeptical about whether or not this would work. Would it match the style of photos that we normally do? But wait, these photos turned out so well. Now our shade grid is finally complete. I'm so excited to launch these 10 new shades.
Any person that has extremely dark skin still has undertones. Cool, warm, neutral. If you held up a black shirt next to the person, you will see that the person is clearly a shade of brown compared against the black shirt because people are not black. It's almost like it's biologically impossible to be a pitch black black human. Black means the absence of light. You wouldn't be able to see any of their features. So let's look at the makeup on this model's face that she tracked down. What I don't understand is why she was so hesitant to actually build up the foundation on his face. After all, he is modeling a product. The whole point of that is to show the color of the makeup matches a person. It's supposed to help people in choosing a color that best suits them. She's barely touching the sponge to his face. You can't really tell until she puts the makeup on the side of his face, and then it kind of looks like a bruise because it's so dark, because it doesn't match him. These men do not match this foundation color. There's shade 590 and there's 600, but there's at least 12 colors in between those that they could have worked on.
It's always my intention to launch this as a proof of concept, see if people even like it.
So Jackie Aina made a response video to the owner of this company.
I'm a brand founder myself, and I understand why this woman gave this response, but here's why I'm gonna tell you it's also bullshit, because it just is. Because it just is. Like, you honestly don't think black people have not heard this same response for how many years? Probably since the dawn of beauty's existence, well, in a mass scale, like the way that it exists now. And the reason why this excuse is BS is because you're basically saying anybody that is lighter than a tan is going to be the case study for this product, okay? They're gonna test it first. They're gonna see if they like it. They're gonna see if they approve. It's a proof of concept, as she phrased it. This is not the first of its kind.
And she was talking about how they could have actually spent more time developing the darker shades, since they had about at least 12 shades of the lighter one. So the shades should have been divided up evenly. That would have been the smart thing to do, but people like to rush things.
This is the reason why when I first started my YouTube channel, I really prioritized this specifically in the beauty industry, why that specifically needed to change. Because what you're inadvertently saying is that anybody that isn't dark skin is the default. And if they like it first, then the rest of y'all will get it, okay? The rest of y'all will get it.
If you're going to specialize in a complexion product, I would strongly recommend that you make a wide range of colors, because there's a wide range of colors of people.
You're basically saying that everybody else is an afterthought. That is what you're saying. And what I think a lot of brands really refuse to do, you're a small business, right? You cannot just launch a product for everybody. I get it. Everything costs money, especially when you own a brand. But here's what you do. You don't. Like, keep that shit in the back stock. We don't want it. I don't want it unless you're either willing to do two things. One, make it available to everyone. And if you can't, as a small business, it is okay, and that's understandable. And I looked at your website. You aren't doing this, by the way. What you need to do instead, if you can't launch this product for everybody, is make sure there's an even ratio of light shades, an even ratio of medium shades, an even ratio of dark, and a medium ratio of deep dark. That means if the most you can do is your 10, baby, you better divvy up that 10 from lightest to darkest. I don't want to see 10 variations of the same fair shade with multiple different undertones, and then here y'all always begging for something all the way at the end of the spectrum. 2 shades that are flexible, because that's not what y'all say, but the gag is y'all give them like last 4 shades the flex, like, here, make it work, fair skin. I don't even like the word fair. Let's start there. Why don't light people have to make it work?
So I saw a lot of comments of people saying to mix colors to make your shade if you're so dark that you can't find anything. To me, this translates to just be grateful that they did anything for you. Spend more than everyone else by buying multiple colors and be happy about it.
If you don't have the money to really fully launch this the way that it deserves to be launched, don't do it. No one's asking. I want people, especially my people, to stop saying, why are black people begging to be included? Stop saying this to people. Because I went on the website and the entire branding, like your makeup should basically be like your skincare. Do you know how many brands that are like that exist but don't necessarily exist to dark skinned people and aren't available to dark skinned people? Do you know that selling point alone is the reason why some people will support your brand? But if you're not making it accessible the way that it should be, then that's one less brand. Somebody in a country like Canada, or somebody in a country, I know Canada's not like by any means like remote, but I'm just using that as an example. That's one less brand that someone who otherwise doesn't have access to very much cosmetic products in their shade ranges can actually buy and support. I'm sick of hearing responses like this, and I'm tired of people perpetuating the same narrative. Why is it that in every facet of society, in beauty, let me not be dramatic, in beauty, science, skincare, cosmetics, it's always they will get it when we're done with it. We will make it available to them when we decide if we like it first. Think about what kind of message that sends off to people. I just thought that this was a terrible response, and I think that this is feedback that a lot of brand founders can actually use. So if you do use it, I'll invoice you. Thank you.
Listen, I hate TikTok with just about every fiber of my being. I tried using it, but my attention span said no. I kind of abandoned my TikTok page after a while. while. But TikTok really shows how ignorant people are. People were really trying to use Nyakim as an example in the comment section of someone who used this foundation. And y'all, she absolutely isn't even close to black. I saw interviews of her. She's just a few shades darker than my dad, actually. Except I think she might have cooler undertones or maybe neutral. I'm not too sure. When she wears blue, it doesn't make her skin look warmer, although it does complement her. Every color looks good on her, let's be real. And then the reply videos to that ignorance, those are the best because a lot of the public doesn't understand what the color black actually consists of.
No one is pitch black with no undertone at all. When you see this foundation in person, you would realize that it is pitch black. When you mix it with white, it turns gray. No one is this color. This is the last swatch video I'm making on this because I just wanted to spread awareness and I don't want to get into the disrespectful realm. I really encourage you to look up black creators and see them swatching this on their skin, giving their opinion, using their voice. But the biggest thing I just want to show in this video is that this is pitch black. Unless you see it in person, it is really hard to believe, but it is black paint.
To really drive the point home, let's take paint and pencils for example, because as you guys know, I am an artist. I have been color blending for well over a decade and a half. So just think if a new pencil company released pencils only available in red and purple, that's it. It's like the brand saying, guys, we only have red and purple pencils right now, but we're coming out with 6 more shades a year from now. No one's going to take you seriously. Being as a colored pencil company is expected to have experts in how all color works, they know how to make their product in many different colors, not just 2. I don't know of any pencil brands that do that, but what they will do is make smaller sets of pencils that have 1 of each color, not a bunch of shades of a few colors. This way, there's a complete range of pencils to choose from so that you don't have to go and buy another set of pencils from another brand to get the colors that you need that should already be in the original set. When a brand releases makeup in the way that Youthforia and Tarte have done, they're really just telling everyone, hey, we don't know what we're doing, but we prioritize the lighter skin customers, they'll get their products first. The rest of y'all can wait like 6 to 12 months for us to get our crap together. You can literally mix their lightest foundation and their darkest foundation and it will turn gray. I didn't notice this much growing up because as I said before, I didn't start doing my makeup until way later in life. I almost never went in the makeup aisle unless I was buying nail polish. I didn't shop for makeup. I didn't know anything about it. Getting sleep was more important to me than painting my face every morning before school. So I didn't know that this was like a huge issue in the beauty community until I was probably in my 20s.
Messed up with shade 600, which is why we're introducing shade negative 600. We have no idea what an actual human person looks like, so we're just giving it our best shot. Just like shade 600, shade negative 600 has no undertones at all, or tones. It's just pure white. What, you want us to make actual shades for human skin? Ugh, sorry, can't do it. Just take this pH blush gimmick and move on. Color match on fleek. This looks good. I look really good. My foundation's amazing. It's perfect for clowns like us. And now you can be one too with shade negative 600. Beauty is for everyone. Well, really it's not, but that's our slogan and you guys won't shut up about it, so here you go. Humans can use this, okay? Human skin is this color, okay?
What really gets me is supposedly Youthforia has their own little group of people, like a focus group that they talk to when they launch new makeup or before they launch new makeup. And they either didn't talk about this or they got people really hyped up for the concept and then reality hit. Ain't no way your focus group approved this. If they did, then you got set up. Final thoughts. I know for a fact Youthforia didn't test this on people because they pretty much said it in the video that we just saw about her going around asking models. They made the shade first and then they tested it on people. Lo and behold, it hasn't matched a single human yet. We're still waiting on that. It isn't always a money issue in my opinion. It's a matter of prioritizing what you're going to sell. Many brands make it very clear who their target audience is. I've even seen a lot of new brands just come out with a few products and then they do those products really, really well. Then later on they start adding more things as they're making more profit. Even the bougiest of companies have a horrendous shade range in their makeup. Not just foundation, but blush, contour, bronzer, concealer, setting powder, sunscreen. So it seems like the brands with the terrible shade range, they forget that they're selling to actual people that have actual skin. They really don't have to cater to everyone. If you have to nag a company and then they come back with some low effort makeup just to shut you up, they don't deserve your money. When you are a complexion focused makeup company that claims to be inclusive, unlike Almay for example, then you are setting the expectation that a wide range of people can buy products from you. You could have taken about 5 shades out of the lighter ones because there's about 12 of them and evenly distributed the darker tones. So it only makes sense for a small brand to do that instead of using all the budget for the light skin makeup colors, then going back to whatever pitiful drawing board there is, and then adding more shades that still aren't evenly distributed. There's about 4 or 5 dark shades and only 1 deep dark shade if you don't count number 600, the cursed foundation number. As of just a couple of days ago, Youthforia is posting on their Instagram page again, so let's take a look-see at the post. They're posting a job listing specifically for diversity and inclusion, and you guys, there's a job listing that has about 17 different tasks that the person will do in that position. They'll be doing the job of like 7 people. This can't be real. We care about our customers, and as we continue to drive change, we are creating a new position internally dedicated to examining both our current products and those in development so we can best meet your needs. You can read more about our values on our website and learn more about the role on our careers page. This is just dreadful and thoughtless. I'm not trying to sound like a social media complainer, but this isn't just an internet thing. A real company made a real product that doesn't match any real humans. I point out the things that don't make sense. That makeup is going to sit on the shelves, and their investor Mark Cuban probably wasted his money on this brand. $400,000 seems like a lot of money to invest. Instead of launching a bunch of products, maybe just focus on a few things and do those few things really well before you move on to something else. Not only that, in 2023, they received funding from True Beauty Ventures and Willow Growth Partners. They thought they were going to grow even more in 2024, and here we are in this kerfuffle. This is a blissfully ignorant company that to me doesn't know what they're doing. That will be the downfall of them if they don't get it together. And this Instagram user said, "Girl, I'm so confused. Where is the apology? There's not even a statement on here or your website, and this role is a scam. You want to hire someone, probably a person of color, to come work for your brand that clearly doesn't value diversity or inclusion and wear multiple hats? Also, where is the salary transparency? Because that salary better be no less than 6 figures. Do better." You gotta love Bodacious Bobo, who said, "They said if you tar babies think you can do better, come do it then." A lot of companies do it. It's actually very common in the beauty industry. Tarte, Almay, for example, they never made a black foundation, but they just made makeup that doesn't have a wide shade range. Almay has makeup where like I'm the darkest shade. These companies need to take notes from brands like Fenty, Serena Williams, Lady Gaga's House Labs, and even Ariana Grande's Rem Beauty. Ariana is not a makeup artist. She is a singer, and yet she possesses the sense to know that people come in different colors. My final thoughts are not to be deceitful in advertising. That's basically like a scam. Don't get me started on scams and underhanded things that artists have done. Actually, yes, do get started. My goal is to reach 200 subscribers. If I've already reached 200 by the time this video comes out, then my next goal will be 300. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and you can follow me on Instagram at jasminebaker.artist. You can check out my main channel where I have lots of drawing videos. I have drawing tutorials, I have coloring tutorials, I have weird art news. There's a lot of stuff over there. Instagram is where I post my homemade art memes and my realistic drawing. So follow me over there. I post pretty frequently. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Can you go get off of the computer? Get off the table now. Can you leave that alone and quit fighting?